The environment section from the third quarter of 2024. Now, PM Jeevan Yojana. The Union Cabinet has approved modifications to Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Yojana. About PM Jeevan Yojana, in 2019, the government launched the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Yojana. Recent amendments and extending the scheme by 5 years, now effective until 2028-29, expanding to include advanced biofuels from lignocellulosic feedstock like agricultural and forestry residue, industrial waste, synthetic gas, and algae. The cabinet approves Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Yojana, जैव ईंधन वातावरण अनुकूल फसल अवशेष निवारण, financial support to integrated bioethanol projects using biomass and crop residues, 12 commercial scale and 10 demonstration scale 2G ethanol projects to provide viability gap funding, to enhance farmers' income from waste material. Total outlay of 1969.5 crore for the period of 2018-19 to 2023-24. Now, extending the scheme by 5 years, we have already done this. The scope of the scheme has been expanded to include bolt-on and brownfield projects, prioritizing innovative projects that uses new technology and diverse feedstocks. Now, Integrated Development Wildlife Habitat Scheme. Recently, the Union Cabinet approved continuation of the Integrated Development of Wildlife Habitat for the 15th Finance Commission cycle. It became operational by expanding the former Assistance for Development of National Parks and Sanctuaries scheme during the 11th plan. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. Nodal ministry is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The aim is to offer financial and technical supports for wildlife conservation and habitat protection nationwide. Technology for conservation. This scheme focuses on enhancing technological intervention in tiger wildlife habitat over the current and next financial year. Project Tiger already uses technology in daily managements like M-Stripes mobile app, which is a monitoring system for tiger intensive protection and ecological status. Components of integrated development of wildlife habitat: support to protected areas, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, community reserves, protection of wildlife outside protected areas, recovery programs for saving critically endangered species and habitats. So far, 22 species have been identified under the recovery program. Subcomponents of ID, Integrated Development of Wildlife Habitat. Project Tiger 1973 aims to maintain a viable population of endangered Bengal tiger in its natural habitat and protect it from extinction. It also supports the ambitious Project Cheetah in India, Project Elephant 1992. It focuses on conserving elephant population and habitat, reducing human-elephant conflict, and enhancing the welfare of captive elephants. Presently, the project is being implemented in 22 states and union territories. Development of wildlife habitat includes Project Dolphin and Project Lion as key initiatives under this component. From 2023 to 24 fiscal year, Project Tiger and Project Elephant have been combined into a single scheme called Project Tiger and Elephant. Now, Air Quality Management Exchange Platform, AQMX, Climate and Clean Air Coalition has launched Air Quality Management Exchange Platform. About the Air Quality Management Exchange Platform, it is a platform offering the latest air quality management guidance and tools designed to meet World Health Organization air quality guidelines interim targets. Now, WHO's air quality guidelines. The WHO air quality guidelines recommends levels of interim targets for common air pollutants like PM, ozone, nitrous oxide, and sulfur dioxide. For example, 24-hour mean of PM 2.5 should not exceed 15 micrograms per meter cube, and annual mean of PM 2.5 should not exceed 5 micrograms per meter cube. Now, for pollutant, we have annual targets and 24-hour target. PM 2.5, it is 10 and 25. and it was in 2005, and in 2021 we have 5 and 15. So we see a reduction. Okay. For PM10 we have 20 to 15, and for 12 hours, 24 hours we have 50 to 45. O3 season peak can be 60, and 8-hour peak can be, for peak season the average can be 60. 8 hours, so this is an addition, peak season 60. And then for 8 hours we have 100 has been maintained at 100, annual has been reduced from 40 to 10. For NO2 we have annual reduced from 40 to 10. 24-hour average has been assigned 25. Then we have sulfur dioxide, which is 20. 20 has been increased to 40. And carbon oxide, monoxide, we have 2021 AQG guideline as 4. Now about air quality management exchange platform, we have already covered this. It was developed in response to a resolution 6 by 10 adopted by UN Environment Assembly to boost global cooperation and action on improving air quality. About the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, it was founded in 2012 and convened within UN Environment Program UNEP. It is a voluntary partnership of more than 160 countries as well as environmental and non-governmental organizations. It aims to reduce the short-lived climate pollutants such as methane, black carbon, hydrofluorocarbons, and tropospheric ozone, which contributes to both climate change and air pollution. Now, Asian Disaster Preparedness Center. India has assumed the chair of Asian Disaster Preparedness Centers from People's Republic of China for 2024-25. About ADPC, it is an autonomous international organization for cooperation in and implementation of disaster risk reduction and building climate resilience in Asia and Pacific region. It was established in 1986 as a regional disaster preparedness center DMC in Bangkok, Thailand. Founding members are India, Bangladesh, Cambodia, China, Nepal, Pakistan, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. ADPC offers training and implements disaster risk reduction management strategies and works to reduce the effects of natural disaster and climate change. Now, Indian Ocean Structure named Ashok Chandragupta and Kalpatru. The International Hydrographic Organization IHO and UNESCO's Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission IOC has approved the names of three underwater structures, which are Ashok, Chandragupta, and Kalpatru in Indian Ocean. The process of naming undersea features within the jurisdiction of territorial sea, naming features must conform to 2013 IHO guidelines. Outside the jurisdiction of territorial sea, individuals and agencies can propose the names for unnamed features as per the standardization of undersea feature name issued by IHO in 2013. So both IHO 13. An undersea feature character, extents, and position is identified prior to naming a feature. IHO subcommittee on undersea feature names reviews the proposal. Now about IHO and IOC. IHO, that is International Hydrographic Organization. It is an intergovernmental organization representing hydrography. It is established in 1921. It has 100 member states including India. Secretariat is hosted by the Principality of Monaco. Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission. It was established in 1961 to promote international cooperation in marine sciences. It has 150 members, including India. It is coordinating agencies for United Nations Decade on Ocean Science for Sustainable Development of 2021 to 30. Open Science for Sustainable Development 21 to 30. This is important. Now, State of World's Forest 2024. Forest and Agricultural Organization released the State of World's Forest 2024 report. The theme is accelerating forest solutions through innovation. Key highlights: forest coverage as of 2020. Global forest coverage was about 4.1 billion hectares, that is 31% of the total landmass. The top five contributors are Russia, Brazil, Canada, US, and China, and make up 54% of the global forest area. Deforestation rate decreased from 15.8 million hectares per year from to 10.2 million hectares per year from 1990 to 2002 to 2015 to 2020. Regional deforestation rate for Africa it is 4.41 million hectares, South America it is 2.29 million hectares, Asia it is about 2.24 million hectares. Forest area gain in 2020, 10 countries recorded annual gain in forest, including China, Australia, India, Chile, Vietnam, Turkey, US, France, Italy, and Romania. India ranked third globally in forest area gains with an annual increase of 266,000 hectares from 2010 to 2020. Mangrove forest, the global rate of mangrove loss has decreased by 23% between 2000 to 2010 and 2010 to 2020, while the rate of mangrove area gains also slightly dropped. Asia was the main contributor to both losses and gains. Now, State of World's Mangrove 2004 report. A report titled The State of World's Mangrove 2004 has been released by Global Mangrove Alliance. Key highlights of the report: Southeast Asia holds about one third of the world's mangrove globally, Indonesia alone accounting for 21%, followed by regions in West and Central Africa. Half of the world's mangrove areas are classified as threatened according to IUCN Red List of Mangrove Ecosystem. The report highlights that mangroves in the Lakshadweep Island and along Tamil Nadu's coast are critically endangered due to rising sea level from global warming. Mangroves along India's west coast, that is Gujarat to Kerala, are also at a risk of collapse. Causes of mangrove loss: natural retraction influenced by climate change, sediment shift, sea level rise, and impacted 26% of the mangrove area. Conversion to aquaculture, oil palm plantation, and rice cultivation causes 43% of the mangrove loss from 2000 to 2020. Expansion to industrial shrimp aquaculture in states like Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Gujarat in recent years. Mangrove cover in India. India's mangrove cover is estimated at 4,992 kilometers square. This is from the India State of Forest Report of 2021. West Bengal has the largest mangrove area at 2,114 kilometers square. Gujarat comes second with an estimated area of 1,177 kilometers square, with mangrove forest largely located in Gulf of Kutch and Gulf of Khambat. Kutch district has the largest mangrove area in Gujarat with 794 kilometers square. Now, State of Rhino 2024 report. International Rhino Foundation has released the State of Rhino 2020 report. Highlights of the report: globally, total rhino population is just fewer than 28,000 across all five species. Poaching in Africa increased by 4% from 2022 to 2023. Black rhino population witnessed a slight decline. Black rhino. White rhino saw population growth in South Africa. Population of Indian rhino, great one horned rhino, remained the same. Now, African rhino, white rhino, feature it is the second largest land mammal after elephant. Habitat primarily found in South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. IUCN status is near threatened. Black rhino, it is smaller of the two African rhinos and is hook-lipped. Habitat is native to Eastern and Southern Africa. So, Eastern and Southern Africa. IUCN status is critically endangered. Now, Asian rhinos, Indian rhinos feature it is the largest of the three Asian rhinos. It is found in Indo-Nepal Terai region, northern West Bengal, Assam. IUCN status is vulnerable. Sumatran rhino, it is the smallest of the living rhinos, only Asian rhino with two horns. Habitat it is found in Sumatra and Borneo. IUCN status is critically endangered. Javan rhino, it is again critically endangered. It is known as lesser one-horned rhino. This one is greater. It is found in Ujung Kulon National Park in West Java, Indonesia. Now, United Nations Water Conservation, Ivory Coast recently became the 10th African country to join United Nations Water Conservation about UN Water Convention. It is also known as Convention on Protection and Use of Transboundary Watercourses and International Lakes. Now, UN Watercourse Convention, UN Convention on the Laws of Non-Navigational Use of International Watercourses, was adopted in 1997. It entered into force on 17th of August 2014. It is the only treaty governing shared freshwater resources that is of universal applicability. Now, the origin, it was adopted in Helsinki in 1992 and entered into force in 1996. It is legally binding. It requires parties to prevent, control, and reduce transboundary impact, use transboundary water in a reasonable and equitable way, and ensure their sustainable management. It has 39 parties. India is not a member. The United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, which oversees the UN Water Commission Convention, the High Treaty, the High Seas Treaty. The Union Cabinet has approved India to sign the High Seas Treaty, also known as the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction. About the High Seas Treaty, it is an international legal framework designed to protect and sustainably use marine biodiversity and other resources in ocean water beyond national jurisdiction. The treaty deals with oceans outside the national jurisdiction of any country. National jurisdiction generally extends up to 200 nautical miles, that is 370 kilometers from the coastline, known as exclusive economic zone. High seas are the areas beyond these EEZs, exclusive economic zones. The high seas contribute to around 64% of the total ocean area, so exclusive economic zones consequently are 36% of the total ocean areas. It will operate within the framework of United Nations Convention on UN Clause. Now, salient features of the treaty: it will establish marine protected areas (MPAs). The benefit from marine genetic resources will be shared among all countries. It mandates environmental impact assessment for activities that could harm the marine ecosystem. The treaty will come into force once 60 countries ratified it. India's three more wetlands added to Ramsar site list. India has increased its tally of Ramsar sites, that is wetlands of international importance, to 85 from existing 82 by designating three more wetlands as Ramsar sites. Now about the new additions. These are Nanjrayan Bird Sanctuary. It is the largest shallow wetland located on the banks of Noyal River. It was named after King Nanjarayan, who repaired and restored it. It supports diverse bird species, including the Eurasian coot, spot-billed duck, and various herons, and attracts migratory birds along the Central Asian flyway. Khazu Valley Bird Sanctuary. It is a brackish shallow lake located on the Coromandel coast in Vilupuram district, north of Pondicherry. It is connected to the Bay of Bengal by brackish Pukali Creek and Yeda Yuthitu estuary. It lies in the Central Asian flyway and is an important stopover site for migratory species of bird. Breeding ground for fish, serves as a major recharge source for aquifers, housing highly degraded mangrove patches containing avian species. So this is Khazu Valley Bird Sanctuary. In this area, reed, which is Thyphongunthata, is found in several hundred hectares. Now, Tawa Reservoir, it is located inside Satpura Tiger Reserve and forms the western boundary of Satpura National Park and Bori Wildlife Sanctuary. It is constructed at the confluence of Tara and Dinwa River. Tawa River, a left bank tributary of Narmada River, originates from Mahadev Hills. River are Malani, Sonbhadra, Nagwari are the major tributaries of Tawa Reservoir. Okay. Now, glacial geoengineering. A group of scientists had released a white paper on glacial geoengineering. About glacial geoengineering, glacial geoengineering uses methods to modify climate systems around a glacier to slow down the melt of ice shelf and reduce ice sea level rise. The proposed glacial geoengineering method, fiber based curtains around the feet of ice shelves, which limits the ice shelf's exposure to warm ocean water underneath them. Fiber would be introduced. Drilling holes through glacial beds to slow the flow of streams that carry meltwater of ice seams. So holes will be drilled to slow the flow of streams that carry meltwater. Okay. Now, megafauna. Archaeologists in Andhra Pradesh discovered a 41,000-year-old ostrich nest, shedding light on India's megafauna extinction. About megafauna, it is a term generally used to describe animal weighing more than 50 kilograms. Megafauna can be classified based on their dietary types, which is megaherbivores and megacarnivores, and megaomnivores. Anthropogenic pressures since the late Pleistocene have led to significant decline in megafauna, particularly among megaherbivores and megacarnivores. Now, atmospheric rivers. Scientists warn the global warming is making atmospheric rivers more frequent and intense. About atmospheric rivers, also known as flying rivers, are large, narrow sections of Earth's atmosphere that carry moisture from the Earth's tropic near the equator to the poles. These are responsible for 90% of the movement of moisture from tropics towards the pole. A well known example is the Pineapple Express, a strong atmospheric river that can bring moisture from tropics near Hawaiian over the US coast, west coast. Now, teal carbon context. India's first study on teal carbon undertaken at Keoladeo National Park in Rajasthan, Bharatpur district. About teal carbon, it refers to carbon stored in non tidal freshwater wetland, encompassing carbon sequestered in vegetation, microbial biomass, dissolved and particulate organic matter. Teal carbon is categorized based on its role in ecosystem and its location. It is distinguished from black carbon and brown carbon. Unlike teal carbon, black and brown carbons are mainly produced by incomplete burning of organic matter, such as in wildfires, fossil fuel consumption, and industrial activities. Major sources of teal carbon are peatlands, freshwater swamps, and natural freshwater marshes. Now, some initiatives in use. Food recovery and avoid methane emission free methodology. According to estimates, each food bank can cut greenhouse gas emissions equivalent to those of 900 gasoline powered cars in a year following the frame methodology. About frame methodology, it is a tool designed to quantify and mitigate the environmental impact of forest loss and waste through food recovery and redistribution. It captures the greenhouse gas emissions that can be avoided by redirecting food destined for landfills to human consumption. It has been developed by Global Food Banking Network in collaboration with Global Methane Hub and Carbon Trust. Now, Spring Initiative, the UN-backed Network Principle for Responsible Investment (PRI), has initiated Spring Initiative. About the initiative, it aims to assist investors in targeting significant firms to halt or reserve nature loss by 2030. It is supported by a coalition of 200 investors who manage a sum of 15 trillion in assets. The focus is on improved corporate practices and political engagement on environmental risks. Now, EU's nature restoration law, recently, EU nature restoration law came into force. It is EU's first continent wide legislation for natural restoration. It is key part of EU's biodiversity strategy, setting binding targets to restore ecosystems that capture carbon and reduce natural disaster impacts. The aim is to restore 20% of the used degraded ecosystem by 2030 and all ecosystems in need of restoration by 2050. All and EU at 2030 and all by 2050. It requires member states to develop ambitious natural restoration plans by the end of 2026. It prioritizes the restoration of Natura 2000 network areas. Natura 2000 is a network of protected areas covering Europe's most valuable and threatened species and habitats. Now, some species in news. Jordan cruiser. Jordan cruiser has not been visually spotted in over a decade. The scientific name is Rhinotheulus bitroquatus, nocturnal bird found only in eastern Ghats, endemic to Andhra Pradesh, Sri Lanka, Mahaleshwar Wildlife Sanctuary in Kadapa habitat. It inhabits open patches within scrub forests. Protection status is critically endangered. So if it has not been visually spotted in over a decade, that is quite concerning. Now, Equilaria malicinensis, agar wood, Site eases export restriction on agarwood from India. About agarwood, agarwood is a species of plant of the family Thymelaceae. It is native to northeast India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and parts of Southeast Asia. It is known for fragrant wood, valued for its unique aroma. Economic value. The main commercial products from agar wood are chip and oil, which are high valued in market. Protection status IUCN, it is critically endangered. Sites, it is Appendix 2. Phanerencia dispeni. Phaneria dispensia has been recorded for the first time in the country from Assam's Kamrup district and Kokrajhar district. About Phaneria dispensae, it is better known as bird dung or bird dropping crab spider. Distribution, it is known to be distributed in the Malaysia and Indonesia's Java and Sumatra. The underside of the abdomen is chalky white and black. Its leg is black. Now, Synthesia caninervi. Scientists have discovered a desert moss, Synthesia caninervi, which can survive in conditions similar to those on Mars. About Synthesia caninervis, it is found in various regions including Xinjiang, Tibet, California desert, Middle East, and polar areas. It can be first. It is the first possible pioneer species of colonization of Mars. About mosses. Mosses are small non-vascular plants in Bryophyta division. Mosses are distributed throughout the world except in salt water and are commonly found in moist, shady locations. Now, what is spinach? The context is the World Vegetable Center in Taiwan says folic acid is just one of the many nutrients in water spinach. Now, water spinach, native to the tropics and subtropics, this semi aquatic perennial is believed to be the first domesticated in Southeast Asia. Other name is Kalmi Sag in West Bengal, Nariga Sag in Uttar Pradesh, and Nalichi Bhaji in Marathi, and Sarkari Vali in Tamil. Sarkara Sarkarai Valley in Tamil. Now benefits rich in folic acid, which is vitamin B9, contains medium level of beta carotene, calcium, vitamin E, and iron, and medium to high levels of ascorbic acid. It helps prevent neural tube defects in unborn children. It is rich in fiber and aids in digestion. Now, Caracal context, the recently released An Intimate History of Mysterious Cats is a definitive work exploring Caracal's biology and ecology. About Caracal, it is a medium sized wildcat with robust build, long legs, short face, long tufted ears, relatively short tail, and a long canine teeth. It is also known as Siago, a Persian meaning black ears. Sia Ghosh. Caracal is native to Africa, Middle East, Central Asia, and arid regions of Pakistan and northwestern India. So Rajasthan region and Gujarat region, of course. Protection status IUCN it's least concerned, and for WLPA 72 it is Schedule 1. Sites it is Appendix 1. Now mainland Shiro. A mainland Shiro has been recorded at the lowest elevation in the western Assam's Raimona National Park. About mainland Shiro, it appears like a cross between a goat and an antelope. It is around 3 feet high at the shoulder and weighs around 200 pounds, which approximately converts to 100 kgs, less than 100 kgs. Figures it has guard hairs on its coat. It is territorial and lives alone or in small groups. Major habitats across India Bhutan border in Phibso Wildlife Sanctuary and Manas National Park in Bhutan. Protection status is vulnerable and CITES it is Appendix 1. Now Rosewood. CITES has launched the CITES Rosewood, the Global Picture Report about Rosewood. It is a fast growing hardy deciduous tree native to the foothills of Himalayas. Its distribution is in India ranges from Afghanistan to Bihar. It is used for making furnitures, musical instruments, and decorative items. Protection status is Appendix 2. Now, methane trop, methanotroph. Scientists at Agricar Research Institute have discovered India's first culture of indigenous methanthrope. About methanthrope, they metabolize and convert methane into carbon dioxide. They are natural methane mitigating agents and can oxidize methane produced in anaerobic environments. They are found in ponds, wetlands, and water bodies. They can tackle climate change challenges by reducing methane concentration in soil and atmosphere. So let's look at the conversion process. There is methane, oxygen, other plants, example, the symbiotic methanotropes, alternative carbon source, photosynthesis, methane from. Okay. Now, Hulon Gapar Gibbon Sanctuary, Northeastern Frontier Railways allocated funds for Canopy Bridge in eastern Assam Hulon Gapar Gibbon Sanctuary. About the Hulon Gapar Gibbon Sanctuary, it is an isolated protected area of evergreen forest. Location is in Jorhat district of Assam, India. Vegetation is evergreen trees, shrubs, and herbs. Flora, the upper canopy is dominated by Hulon tree, that is, the middle canopy is dominated by Nahar trees. The lower canopy consists of evergreen shrubs and herbs. The fauna. This sanctuary contains India's only gibbon, the Hulok gibbon, and northeastern India's only nocturnal primate, the Bengal slow loris. Other primates: thumb-tailed macaque, northern pig-tailed macaque, eastern Assamese macaque, rhesus macaque, and Cape langur. Now, Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. The Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary is being developed as a second home for cheetahs in India after Kuno National Park. About the Gandhi Sagar National Wildlife Sanctuary, not national, just wildlife sanctuary. It is located along the northern borders of Mandsaur and Nimaj district in Madhya Pradesh. It is the part of Katiyagir dry deciduous forest ecoregion. The Chambal River passes through the sanctuary, dividing it into two parts. Flora is Khair, Salai, Dwada, Kardai, Tendu, Palash, etc. Now the fauna is deer, nilgai, sambar, etc. Now, geographical places in news. Shiok River. Five soldiers lost their life after a tank was swept away by strong currents in the Shiok River during a military training. About Shiok River, it originates from Remo Glacier in Karakoram Range. It is a tributary of Indus River. It follows through the northern Ladakh and Gilgit-Baltistan and joins the Indus River near Sakradu. Its major right bank tributary is Nubra River. Now, Atacama salt flat. A recent study notes that Chile's Atacama salt flat is shrinking to 1 to 2 centimeters per year due to lithium brine extraction. About Atacama's salt flat, it is Chile's Atacama Desert. It is one of the world's largest salt flats and lithium reserves. It has rough white surface underneath, which is a large salt lake. Now, Tonga volcanic eruption. A study published in Journal of Climate noted that the eruption in Hunga Hapai volcano in 2022 has been a weather-altering impact across the globe. About the Hunga Hapai volcano, it is in the Tonga archipelago, just above North Ring of. It is in the Ring of Fire, above New Zealand and east to Australia. Now, in the southern Pacific region, of course. It is a submarine volcano, part of the highly active Kermadec Tonga subduction zone. The formation, it is formed by the subduction of Pacific plate beneath the Indo-Australian plate. So Pacific plate is subducting in the Indo-Australian plate. It includes two small uninhabited islands, Hunga Hapai and Hunga Tonga. That'll be all for the environment section. We'll be moving on to the science and tech section in the next video.